You have this great book out, Blessed Mode. Tell me a bit about leveling up your faith. It's a 90-day program, and it's to help people connect with their faith more. Tell me a bit about it.
Yeah, man. So bless mode, it works on your mental, your physical and spiritual health. It's really about getting up in the morning and just taking care of your day. Like we prepare for everything else, right? We prepare to put on our clothes because we know we're gonna go outside, it's gonna be cold, you know what I mean? Or we'll work out, so we have the right endurance for the day. But then what about your mental and spiritual self? You know what I mean? So it's like waking up, having some time to pray to God, let them know about what you're going through, getting some help in that, and just getting you ready for your day. It's really a motivation. So what I do is that I'll start you off with a Bible verse in the book, and then after the Bible verse, I'll talk about a story in my life that connects to that. And then after that, I'll take you through a prayer. And then it's my favorite part. It's called Go Get Them Blessings, where I actually have you apply what you just read to your life, and I have you do something. It's a call to action that day. Yeah, man. And it's really a family thing where I want to let everybody know that they're loved. You know what I mean? Even if we're not family, I want to let everybody know that they're loved and we're all part of the same family. Yeah.
It's 2022 now. A lot of people are making, New Year's resolutions. Probably people are kind of failing at keeping them right now.
Yeah.
Through this book, it's a 90-day program, but these lessons are going to keep with you a lot longer. What are your tips for people when it comes to, making meaningful changes and really keeping at it?
Yeah, man. Meaningful is the right word. What you just said, like making it meaningful. Like, don't do it where because a lot of people go like, well, I got a goal that I want to go after. But then let's say like if you're working out. I heard Jay Shetty say this, which I thought was really cool way of thinking about it, where he was just like, if people are saying, oh, I'm going after a goal, right? But then they say, oh, I'm gonna work out, 5 times a day. But then they only worked out one day out of that week, and then they give up because it's like, dang, my goal was 5 days. But look at it like this: did you do that one? Let's celebrate that one that you did. Okay, so then the next day, let's try to go for two. Let's go. Like, don't be so hard on yourself if it's a day where you didn't really, go for that goal that you set for yourself. It's the intention that you did it. You know what I'm saying? Like you really did it. So you can always be better than the day before, and that's my thing. Like I always say, you can always do better than the day before. Never be too hard on yourself. When you make mistakes, just understand that they're lessons. So it's kind of like, okay, well, what do I need to do? If it was working out, maybe I needed to go to sleep a little earlier so I could get up. You know what I mean? So I can do what I need to do. Maybe I need to switch my schedule around, kind of look at it like that, in that way. So you can keep going.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
Positive thinking,
Yeah.
it's said a lot, but it really does make a world of difference. And I saw you did the voiceover for the audiobook. And,
Yeah.
those are a lot more work than people think, but you have such a history of great voiceover work. Did that really help you with this audiobook?
Oh yeah, man. Like doing T-Bone, Clifford the Big Red Dog, and Wild Grinders, and all those different like cartoons that I've done voiceovers. And then my show Best Friends Forever, I do a lot of voiceover work. So that really did help prepare me for it. But I was very surprised that because I was in there with the editor for like 2 days, and he told me like a lot of authors they don't like doing their audio. They'll have somebody else do it. They might not like the sound of their voice or things like that. But for me, I really wanted people to hear my voice and hear my passion behind it. I mean, no shot to anybody else, but just for me, I wanted them to hear my passion behind the words and why I wrote it. It was even a part in there where in acknowledgments where I got a little emotional because I was talking about my grandma, and he was like, "Oh, that's great, but you can't really cry on audibles." And I was just like, I was like, "Oh yeah, right. Let's retake. Let's do that one more time." But yeah, but that's how raw I got in it.
Well, the book's more serious. You're obviously known for your comedy. Who are some of your influences? Who really, did you watch growing up that
Oh
made
yeah.
you laugh and kind of imitated until you found your true voice?
Man, Martin Lawrence, definitely watched, his character work and his physical comedy is amazing. John Ritter, I always say that, I used to watch Three's Company late at night when I was supposed to be asleep as a kid, before, but school was the next day, but I used to watch Three's Company on my little TV. And it was a scene where he played his cousin and himself at the same time and had to fool everybody. And that scene kind of like just really changed my life. So, but yeah, I really physical comedians are really the ones that I kind of gravitated towards. And I'm sure you can see that in the work that I do. But yeah, they were just really instrumental. Definitely Eddie Murphy, all the Wayans brothers. Yeah.
So let's take a trip back into your past here,
Yeah.
Keenan and Kel, all that. How instant was your chemistry with Keenan? And when did you know that you two just had that connection and just had that
Mm.
magical chemistry?
Man, what's crazy is that when we did all that, it was a nationwide search. So they went all over finding kids and teens. And when we got the job, it was a thing of, I remember we were on set and I would say a joke, he would say a joke. We just kind of like, it just worked. You know what I mean? I remember the one that worked the most was the Mavis and Clavis sketch that we did together where we were introducing TLC. And it's actually the tag at the end of all that when you say, oh yeah, kick it. So what I remember in that day, I just remember I would tell a joke and he knew what I was going to say right afterwards. And we didn't grow up together. It was just like a click. And then they started putting us in sketch after sketch together and then spinning off and doing the Keenan and Kel show. And then what's cool is Kim Fields, who I have a movie with I just did this year for the holidays. But she used to direct Keenan and Kel. And what was super cool is she introduced us to Jerry Lewis and Martin. And it was just like, and all these like cool comedy duos. And it was like, you guys are like that. And we had no idea. You know what I mean? We were just like, oh, let me see these. And we watched all these old tapes and we're like, wow, and that really opened up our eyes too.
And then you also had a cameo in Kanye West's video for All Falls Down. I've been
Yeah.
wondering for like over a decade now, how did that come together?
Well, I grew up on the south side of Chicago. So did Kanye, Common, and all of us. So we all know each other. So it was super awesome. Because I'm a little younger than them, but it was super cool. You know what I mean? That they hit me up. And Kanye hit me up and wanted me to be in the video. Chicago, I love the city of Chicago. I'm a hip hop head, so I love hip hop. And so when I got the call, I was like, I'm there. I'm there no matter what, man. Let's do it. And yeah, it was just a great song. That was a great album too.
Yeah, and I love that you're both using your platform for so much good. He's doing the Sunday services now and putting
Yeah.
out a lot of like spiritual music. How great is it to see, people, reinstill faith?
Yeah, man. I love that, especially in music and within entertainment. It's so many different ways to let people know about your faith, and I think that's awesome. Yeah, yes, I am a youth pastor, but also it's ministry within entertainment. You know what I mean, and how you could reach people. Sometimes everyone's not just in the walls of the four church. The four walls of the church, and so it's other ways you need to reach them. So if it's through social media, it's all ministry. You know what I mean? If it's through music, it's all ministry. You know what I mean? So just to reach somebody and show them God's heart is so important, and that's another reason why I did the devotional as well. Yeah.
Speaking of another great musician, you did a great Loiter Squad appearance with Tyler, the Creator.
Yeah,
You put the
man.
beating on him. How fun was that to record?
That was awesome, man. Tyler's great, man. And I love his creativity. It's super cool. I remember when the day we filmed it, we got there and it was like, well, it's no scripts. And I was like, no script? And he was like, nah, and we were just gonna figure it out on the fly. I was like, word? He's like, yeah, it's gonna be all improv, which is cool because I come from comedic improv background. So I was like, let's go. And we just put that whole thing together at that moment and then turn the cameras on. And it worked out. It was so super funny. And the whole squad, his whole crew that was there was super dope. But that's what's cool about all that is like a lot of artists, grew up watching the show, and it's super cool hearing their stories of like how they enjoy watching all that. And these are artists that, I listen to and, I like vibing too. And then also to be able to meet them in person and have those conversations and even work with them in sketches is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and like so
Yeah.
many songs reference you and Keenan. And Tyler even did it on a West Side Gun song. He said, "I'm all that, Keenan and Kel." What goes through your mind when you hear your name mentioned through an
I,
artist that you like?
man, I'm still like a kid. I'm always excited when I hear artists mention my name. Like I'm like, yeah, like I'm always super excited. And then I'll turn it up, listen to it again. It's super cool, man. And then like, working with Chance, and Chance hit me up to be in the Hot Shower music video. It keeps talking about Good Burger within it. And that was super cool. Another Chicago native, and just, yeah, man, just, it's a lot of different artists that shout us out, and I think that's cool. It's real humbling, and it's awesome. Yeah.
You mentioned Good Burger. I know you and Keenan have both been open about being on board for a Good Burger too, and there's
Yeah.
so much going on behind the scenes, so I'm not going to ask you for an update. But if it were to happen, what would you like to see from it? Where do you think those characters are in life in
Um,
2022?
I definitely think Ed would be running the place at this point. You know what I mean? And so how chaotic or funny that would be with him running Good Burger and managing it. And I think them looking for seeing these new employees that are there now with a whole new generation. I think would be really dope too. Having that, and them having new adventures throughout that, and trying to show these other workers how to get through, and them learning them and navigating their stories within it. I think that would be really, really fun. And then it having some, some of these acts that I just talked about earlier, musical acts, that be in the movie, because we had so many like good special guests in the first one. I think it would be cool to do that in part two as well. Yeah.
That sounds great. And I know
Yeah.
we won't get a Mystery Men sequel. That was a bit of a bomb, but I really liked that movie, and that had such a talented cast. You were
Yeah.
probably what, like 20 when you filmed that? What was it like working with Ben Stiller and all this?
Man, here's the thing. That movie, yeah, we were up against Sixth Sense. So we were gonna I remember like the Sixth Sense changed their date. And that's what happened. Everybody wanted to see Sixth Sense because of the ending. And it was just like, oh man. But what's cool about Mystery Man is that it's become like this cult classic. Like I've seen people at Comic Cons dressed as Invisible Boy and Shoveler and Spleen, and yeah, people wanted two for Mystery Man. So I know a lot of people talking about Good Burger, but I'm like, I wanted two for Mystery Man as well, because it would be really, really cool. I mean, I was superhero as well, so I'm excited about that. I'm a Marvel guy. I love Marvel, so for me, it was just like super cool to actually be a superhero, and then working with all these amazing comedians that I looked up to was super awesome. I mean, we were on set for like 6 months because CGI wasn't, I mean, it's still not easy, but CGI wasn't as advanced as it is now. And so it took a while, with all the crazy CGI that we did in it. And so it took a while to shoot. So we all became like family during that time, Yeah, it was awesome.
You also did a great All That sketch with the WWE stars, the New Day. Like, those guys are a bunch of characters. How fun was it just, getting to play off their comedic chops?
Dude, that was a dream come true to me. First of all, we brought all that back, and then having them come on because I'm a huge WWE fan. You know what I mean? And so that was cool. Me and my wife, and so we love the WWE. And so when New Day came on, they were excited, and I was just as excited as them. And we just had a blast. It was really funny because I remember I got to like knock a chair over and hit them like, and it was just, and it was them looking at me like that. I was like, oh, I feel like I'm in the WWE. This is crazy. I'm about to wrestle. So yeah, man, we had fun. We had a lot of fun.
And then my last question, I've got to ask it. Who loves orange soda?
I don't know. No, Kel loves orange soda. I do. But drink water, guys. Drink water and put orange electrolytes in there, because I work out now. So
So how did that recurring gag all come about? Were you drinking it backstage constantly? What happened there?
That was from the mind of our writers. You know what I mean? Dan Schneider came with this crazy idea, and he wrote it as, who loves orange soda? Kel loves orange soda. I do. And he didn't have the sing songy in there. So what I did was I just T-pained it a little bit. You know what I mean? I came in and I just threw a little remix on it. And who knew that it would take off to like, to even to this day, me and my wife will go to like a real high-end restaurant and people and the waiter will laugh if I don't get orange soda. Like they're like, no, you're supposed to get orange soda, man. Like even to this day, like that just happened. And so, but I love it. I love that people love it. It's super cool.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Yeah.
your time today, Kel. Blessed Mode out now. Great book. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah. Thank you,
There you
brother.
go.
Great talking to you.